right, Numbers 25. Let's call this one Two Princes from the song that was popular a few years back now. But let's subtitle it from the text, A Perpetual Priesthood, because we don't literally have two princes, but we do have the sons of two leaders in Israel who are making two very different decisions. And one of those, a young man by the name of Phineas, is going to be given a perpetual priesthood by God because he steps up and does something drastic. He's actually going to kill two people, but he's going to kill two people to save goodness knows how many. How do we know? Well, the story's going to say that beginning in verse 10. And the Lord said to Moses, Phineas, the son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned back my wrath from the people of Israel, and that he was jealous with my jealousy among them, so that I did not consume the people of Israel in my jealousy. Therefore say, behold, I give to him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his descendants after him a covenant of a perpetual priesthood, because he was jealous for his God and made atonement for the people of Israel. How did they get here in the first place? Well, as we alluded to back in the last chapter, Balaam, even though he wasn't able to curse the people of Israel, he was able to counsel their enemies into how to make them stumble. And that's what we see in verse 1, where it reads, when the people of Israel lived in Shittim, the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab. These invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their gods. So Israel yoked himself to Baal of Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And the Lord said to Moses, take all the chiefs of the people and hang them in the sun before the Lord, that the fierce anger of the Lord may turn away from Israel. And Moses said to the judges of Israel, each of you kill those of his men who have yoked themselves to Baal of Peor. And behold, one of the people of Israel came and brought a Midianite woman to his family in the sight of Moses and in the sight of the whole congregation of the people of Israel, while they were weeping in the entrance of the tent of meeting. When Phineas, the son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose and left the congregation and took a spear in his hand and went after the man of Israel into the chamber and pierced both of them, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. Thus the plague on the people of Israel was stopped. And so what we are seeing here is a battle not only between two princes. It's not much of a battle. Phineas simply chose to take a drastic action to end a drastic consequence that was falling on the people of Israel. We're going to see that, I think it was, 24,000 of the people had already died by the time he stopped the plague. So he wasn't simply behaving presumptuously. Quite to the contrary. What he was doing was not presuming that things were just going to get better. And so what happens here is something we've talked about before that reaches forward into Psalm 19, where David prays, Lord, keep back your servant from presumptuous sins. And this is the danger of presumption in this circumstance. It can go two ways. See, on the one hand, as we've already seen, we have seen a tone-deaf people who, no matter how much God is trying to convince them, are not getting it. And now we're seeing a young man. We don't know whether or not, when it says he was bringing the woman to his family, that it was just for a courtesy call, or whether it was going back to verse 1, more of the same, whoring with the Midianite or Moabite women. But either way, his problem is it looks like he is taking an exceedingly tone-deaf action in the midst of a generation that is now turning over and trying to leave tone-deaf actions behind. And so the brilliance of what Phineas does, even though it's steeped in violence, is he realizes that this is a turning point, because soon what we're going to see is the census of the next generation. And we're going to see that this is not going to stop. Moses is actually going to warn the people as they are entering the promised land. Two of the tribes are going to want to stop short. He's going to say, you're about to bring the same judgment that your previous generation earned. And so what Phineas is doing is not presuming that it's just going to get better once he sees signs that the very same things that got the last generation in trouble are showing signs of carrying forward into this generation. But understand, as he is getting a perpetual priesthood, he is going to have to show the same zeal for righteousness in nurturing it that he did for getting it. Why? Because when we see Timothy being counseled by Paul, one of the things Paul is going to say, as we talked about when we went through 1st and 2nd Timothy, is Paul is going to say, don't neglect the gift that's been given to you. So the danger and presumption can be twofold. One, not making a clean break with either tone-deaf ways or unhealthy habits, but also in terms of taking care of blessings, not nurturing them properly, presuming that the good times will continue to roll without properly being nurtured.